This is Single Status.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Single Status Podcast. This is your host, Samantha, and I am just so happy to be here with you as always. And today we are going to talk about how our approach to dating and our perspective on certain aspects of dating can change over time. And really, it's just because we're growing, we're evolving, we're changing, we're transforming. We have gone through different experiences that cause us to change our perspective. And I'm just going to share a few things that I approach differently now and that I have a different opinion on now because of some things that I've gone through in the past with relationships. And specifically, it's been on my mind that, I feel like a lot of us are scared to change, or we maybe aren't comfortable with change. And I'm even thinking about areas of our lives where maybe we grew up a certain way or believing a certain thing, and then over time we kind of feel like it's part of our personality that, oh, I'm just like that. But no, it's okay to really believe strongly about something a year ago, and then you've gone through some things, or maybe you listened to a TED Talk, or you had a conversation with a friend that completely changed your perspective on something that you thought you would never think you would ever change your stance on. And I actually think that is really amazing. It is important to grow, to change, to learn, to see different perspectives and different ways of living. And honestly, through experience is a lot of times the best teacher, because we say, oh, I did it this way before, and I kind of want to do it this way in the future. And isn't there a quote out there that says, if you're not changing, you're dying? I don't know if I just made that up, but I feel like it sounds good, because if we're just staying stagnant, if we're just staying the same way all the time, then what is there to live for? Like, I believe that life is all about growing and transforming and becoming a better person through time and through experience and learning about different ways of living and doing things. And anyway, so change is good. Change is a good thing. So it's okay if you believed one thing yesterday and tomorrow you have a different perspective on it. Even, I listen back sometimes to the first season of the podcast, and I honestly kind of cringe just because I was just starting out, but also I've changed a lot and I've grown a lot, and there are some things that I believe differently now. And that literally was only a year and a half ago. So anyway, we're going to talk about that with dating and how my mindset has changed and my perspective has changed over time, and how I approach dating because of my past, because of the experiences I've had before, and just by learning from other people now as well. But before we jump into it, I just want to remind you, if you don't already, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. My links are below at Samantha Venue. And if you're on Apple or Spotify, I would so much appreciate it if you could rate the show, if you could write a review. That is how the algorithm reaches more people. And make sure to share with a friend. Share with someone that you know this show would encourage. And just to remind you, we're also on YouTube, so you can watch the show there as well. So I've been hearing this phrase, you become what you behold. I've been hearing that a lot lately in the different church settings that I've been in, I guess. You become what you behold. And basically what that means is when you behold God in your heart and you have your focus on Jesus, you actually start to become like him. It's really out of that relationship with him, you start becoming like him. And it's not a forced thing. It's not a religious duty or a religious thing, like you have to do this, you have to become like Jesus, you have to act like this. No, it's actually out of this relationship that you start building a love for Jesus because you're beholding him in your heart. and you start really just becoming like him without even striving or trying. It's just this pure heart that is focused on him, and all of a sudden you're transforming. All of a sudden your actions are changing. All of a sudden you're being a little more generous. All of a sudden you're having a little bit more joy. It's these subtle changes that happen over time because you're becoming what you're beholding. And the same thing happens in deep, intimate relationships. And I know there's that saying out there that you become like the 5 people you're around most. And that's so true. And that's why it's so careful who we are around, and especially who we date. And when I was younger, I just didn't really think about that much. It was all about, okay, who do I have chemistry with? Who am I falling in love with? Who is attractive? And who do I, who makes me get these butterflies? And it was more about that. And luckily in my 20s, I was with a man for a long time. And luckily he had a lot of really great traits, personality traits. And yeah, our relationship wasn't perfect and we didn't end up working out. But, I have to say that he was a great person to be around for that many years of my life, because he actually made me a better person. He grew me in areas that I needed growth. And it wasn't like a forced thing. It was just because I was around him that he was the most important person in my life for a long time, that I naturally started to become more like him. And I know the same for him too. This is just in any relationship where you're around that person most, you end up starting to become like them, even when you're not trying to. And it can happen the opposite way too. And there might have been some bad habits that I picked up from him and he picked up from me as well. But, I think we all have maybe those friends that they start dating someone and all of a sudden they start acting a certain way that we don't like, or maybe they start changing the music they listen to, or they they aren't as social as they were before. Whatever it is, there's certain things that are certain, I'm sure, examples that you have in your personal life of the opposite happening with people, where they start dating someone and you're like, oh, they've just changed. They're just different. And honestly, that's true. So because people become who they are around most, especially romantic partners, because there's such a deep, intimate relationship there, and they're your top focus. I mean, as far as humans go, outside of God, like they're your top focus for that time period that you're with them. So I'm being awakened to the fact that it is so important to pay attention to this person and their quality traits, and because you will probably end up becoming more like this person. So the question is, whoever you're dating, I would literally ask yourself, would I be okay becoming more like this person? Like, is this person, being around them, going to make me a better person? And honestly, we should be asking ourselves that too. I mean, like, am I someone who just by being around me, people are becoming a better person? And that, honestly, you could ask yourself with your friends and family. Because you are around, are there people in your personal life that are better off because you're there? I actually think that's a really good question to ask yourself, because that's a sign that when someone comes into your life on a romantic level, that you are a good influence for them, that they are going to become a better person just naturally by being in that close, intimate relationship with you. And so that's just some self-reflection, because I think, we're not trying to be perfect or anything, but we have to know that there are always things that we can work on, and sometimes we are the person that's holding ourselves back, So anyway, so that's something I've been thinking about, as far as you become what you behold. And I know that's more of like a spiritual thing here, but seriously, you become like the person that you are holding dearest in your heart. So whoever you're dating, whoever you're spending the most time with, make sure that is someone that you actually want to become like. So that's just something I kind of look for now is I say, okay, this is someone that I want to be like. This is someone that I look up to. This is someone that I definitely can see myself being with because they will make me better. Another opinion of mine or perspective that has changed over time is cohabitating. So living with someone else before you are married. So when I was younger, I was about 23, 24, I ended up moving in with my ex. I probably lived with him for about a year or 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years. And at the time, I was just young. I wanted to get out of my house. I even though I love my parents' house, I mean, they're so laid back and my mom cooked dinner every night and it was great living at home. But, when you're young, you just want to be independent. You just want to get out. And also, I was in love. I just wanted to be with my boyfriend. I wanted to be at his house. I wanted to be gone. I wanted to be over there with him. And so I kind of, I hopped on the chance of moving in there as quick as possible, not thinking any logical way or over examining, or I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I wasn't really thinking through my decision is what I'm trying to say. And so, we ended up breaking up about a year and a half or 2 years into me living there. And I moved back home and then I told him, look, we ended up getting back together. We were off and on a lot. But after that, I said, I'm not going to move in again unless we get married. And I'm happy I stuck to my guns on that because we ended up breaking up and that's just way too much back and forth. But anyway, the reason that I believe differently about this now is because two things. The first thing is when you are living with someone before marriage, you see everything about this person. You see how they fold their laundry. You see whether they take the hair out of the drain after they shower. You see the cups that they leave around the house. There are things that you are going to get annoyed with or frustrated with. And you see when they're angry. You see when they're upset. You see when they're tired. Like, you see every little part of this person. And so there are going to be situations that come up that are going to be annoying, or that you're going to have you're going to bicker or whatever. And when you are just dating, it's easy to just walk away. It's easy to just say, well, this isn't going to work for me. Let's just break up. I'm just going to move out. It was fun, but have a nice life kind of thing. And I know breakups are a lot worse. Trust me, my breakup was not like that. It was very, very, one of the hardest things I've ever gone through in my life. I'm taking a sip of tea. But it's easy to walk away. And so the reason I'm at the point now where I will not live with someone until the day I'm married is because I want to move in with someone and see all those sides of that person with the idea and the mindset that we are committed to this, that we are in it for the long haul, that we are in this until the day we die. No matter if I get annoyed with you because you leave your shoes out at the back door, or because you throw your socks in the middle of the room on the floor and I have to clean up after, like, whatever things we're going to get annoyed with, whatever things we're going to bicker about, whatever little annoyances and quirks that you have, I want us both to be on the same page at the altar that we are in this no matter what. And divorce is not an option. And so that is why my mindset has changed a lot about cohabitating, because I believe that there should be that strong commitment on both sides, because there's so much hurt, guys. It was very, very hard living with someone, being intimate on that level, and giving your whole life to them, body, mind, soul, to them, and then breaking up. It is so hard. And you guys have probably heard me talk about that a lot on here if you listen, but hardest thing I've ever gone through, breaking that soul tie and those memories and having that life together. I mean, your lives are intertwined when you're living together fully. And so breaking up from that is just a very hard experience that I never want to go through again. And I hope you listening don't have to go through that, or I hope that if you have gone through that, that you don't have to experience it again. But this can be avoidable by making sure that you are both committed to each other before you enter into marriage and move in together. And that's just my opinion. But the other thing with cohabitating is you end up giving everything to this person, especially women, okay? And I don't want to generalize, but a lot of women, we when we live with a man, we end up treating them, okay, I shouldn't be talking for other people. I'll talk for myself. When I lived with my ex-boyfriend, I treated him like my husband. I poured out to him. I gave him mind, body, soul, spirit, like everything was for him because I loved him. And this is nothing against him. That was me making that decision. He didn't force any of this upon me. Like, I was happy to be that committed to him. But at the end of the day, it caused anxiety in the back of my mind at all times because he wasn't fully committed to me. I was fully committed to him. I was pouring out my heart to him. But at the end of the day, we weren't married. At the end of the day, I didn't have the security that I needed. At the end of the day, I didn't feel safe in the relationship because I didn't know if I would ever have that commitment from him. And so anyway, that could have nothing to do with cohabitating, but I think cohabitating, living together, it causes you to end up treating each other as if you are married when you're really not. And again, that's just through experience and honestly, I just believe that God also wants to protect our hearts. And waiting to live with someone until marriage, I really believe it's God's protection. That's just how I view it now. And it's also fun to look forward to. Like, I can't wait for the day that I date my future husband, and it will be exciting to look forward to moving in together, to have that time of dating, to just have fun and to get to know each other on an emotional level and get to know our families and go out on dates and then plan a wedding and then plan a home together and then moving in together. That'll be a whole fun experience to look forward to. So anyway, just wanted to share how my perspective has changed over time on that. And the other thing that I feel like I've been really good at lately, and it's really hard actually, is having boundaries with who I even entertain with dating. So dating is on my mind right now because I swear guys are just popping up out of nowhere. Like, it has been a dry land for a long time. And these men are just popping up around me. And listen, I am happy about it. I am here for it. Lord, keep sending them, please. Because it's so funny when you're single because sometimes literally there's nothing for like years, months, whatever. It's a dry land. And then all of a sudden, men just pop up out of nowhere, and it's usually like multiples at once. So anyway, maybe it's just me, but that's happening. I'm in that season right now. They're popping up. And listen, I have gotten a lot better at having boundaries with who I even entertain with dating. Okay, because in the past, it was more, again, about that rush, that those butterflies, that chemistry, that high chemistry, that falling in love, that euphoric feeling. And now it's like, okay, girl, hold up. I know this man's attractive. I know he makes good money, but does he align with your values? Is he what you are looking for at the end of the day? Is he a good man? Like, you know, you're kind of, I just am examining things a little differently. I think in the past, it was easier to kind of jump into something with someone that's still tied up with someone else. Like, oh, we're separated. Oh, I still have a girlfriend, but we're having issues. And it's like, okay, nope. please, you sir need to still work out your junk with that girl. And listen, I understand that relationships are hard. I understand you're going through it. I understand you're separated. I understand that your relationship's hurting, but I'm not about to be your backup girl. I'm not about to be the girl that is lined up for you because you don't want to be single for a minute. And so I've gotten really good at that. Like, listen, you're cute, you whatever, but I don't even want to get into that because you need to heal. You need time for yourself. And I don't want to be that person that you are jumping to for comfort when there are situations that there are feelings that you have to process. Because again, I have been through a heartbreak. I have been through a breakup, and it has taken me a long time to heal. And sometimes I still have my moments where I think about the hurt that came from that, and it takes time. So when I see a man that's kind of just jumping right into a relationship, right into dating, right after being in a long-term serious relationship, it's kind of a red flag for me. And I understand why they're doing it because it's uncomfortable to sit with our feelings. It's uncomfortable to take time to heal. It's uncomfortable to be alone after you have been in a relationship for so long. It's a very uncomfortable thing. However, I personally want to be with someone that has taken the time they need to process their emotions because I don't want them looking to me to be their healer when the healer is actually Jesus and their own selves that need to take time to process and go to therapy or do the things that they need to heal on their own. So anyway, at this point in my life, I really am just so attracted to a man that is in touch with his emotions, to a man that is just calm. And we can just go to the farmer's market together and we can just laugh about something funny, someone walking down the street with a man with short shorts on, or I don't know. I just am so attracted to a man that just calms my nervous system. And that is just such a millennial thing to say, but I'm going to say it because when a man can calm me and make me feel protected and make me feel safe and make me feel like I can trust him and that he just brings out pure joy. I mean, that is what I'm most attracted to at this point in my life. And of course, there's other things, but honestly, I just find that really attractive. And I have to say that wasn't something I ever found attractive before when I was younger. But it's now as you get older, you just see the value and know the value of your peace and your joy. And when someone can add to your peace and your joy, that is just extremely attractive. It's an extreme turn on. When someone can just simply hang out and do simple things with you, ordinary life things, and you don't feel like you're constantly wondering and worrying, are they talking to other girls? What are they doing? Where are they going? Like, you can just relax because they're just chill. And may I say a little boring, but to me, that isn't boring. That's attractive. So anyway, if you are on the dating scene, guys, I just want to say it's okay to change. It's okay to change your perspective, change your opinions, to try things differently. And maybe the takeaway is just reflect on some things in the past that you liked, or some things that you didn't like, maybe from past relationships or past dating situations, and say, I want to do things this way. I want to do better in this area. And what I would leave you with also is just have fun too. I've been saying, Lord, I just want to have fun. I just want to have fun in this season. I just want to get to know different guys. I want to genuinely just have a good time and not take things so seriously all the time, especially when it comes to dating, because we can just be by the book all the time, especially as we get older. I need this. I'm not going out with him. I'm not doing that. It's like, let's just chill. It's okay to hang out with guys. It's okay to have conversations, and it's okay to have some fun, okay? So my encouragement to you is do some self-reflection on what you want, what you don't want, maybe some things that you've changed over time, your mindset, your opinions on some things of how you want to date and have a relationship in the future. And also just have fun. Have fun in the process. Single life can be so fun. We concentrate so much, and I do this too. We concentrate so much on the sad side of single life, the hard side, the heartbreak, the things that we have to heal. But it's also like, no, single life is also a fun time. It's exciting. At any moment, there could be a guy that DMs you and asks you on a date. At any moment, you could meet someone out at a church event. I mean, it is fun, and it's fun going on dates. It's fun meeting different people. So get in that mindset. Put that dating energy out there. That is what I'm doing. I am putting it out into the universe, and I am saying, Lord, I am ready. Hallelujah. Send the men my way, okay? So put that energy out there. All right, guys. So before we end, let's do our affirmations because I believe in the power of our words. I just said it, okay? So place your hand over your heart and repeat after me. I am not alone. I am loved and cherished by the Father. And I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. Whew. Well, I can't wait for those men to be chasing you down and taking you on dates, okay? We are putting it into the atmosphere right now. I believe it and declare it in Jesus' name. All right, guys, I hope you had fun today. I hope this episode was encouraging to you and got you thinking a little bit about perspective and mindset. So I just want to remind you, if you don't already, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Samantha Venue. My links are below. And if you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to write a review, rate the show on Apple. That is how the algorithm grows. That's how we reach more people. And don't forget, we're also on YouTube, so you can watch the whole episode there. And make sure to share with a friend. Share with a single friend that you know the show would encourage. All right, guys. See you next time.